Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ziresh here, and you must have seen the message. Actually, yesterday I declared about the Greenbelt Hackathon, and my voice was not well. You know that even today I'm struggling. A lot of fever is there. So by afternoon also the team was in dilemma whether to go ahead or not. So then we all decided let's not break the schedule, and let's play this pre-recorded session, and tomorrow as I recover better I will do the live. Okay, so what we are playing is the last month hackathon, Greenbelt Hackathon, which is exactly the same. I'll be here in the room itself. You have any question, you can just put that in the chat and I'll be there to respond that. Okay, so let's learning should not learning should not stop. Okay, so I'm just starting my sharing my video with you, and let's enjoy. Take the notes, it will be a huge enjoyable ride. That's my guarantee. Okay, all the very best, happy learning. Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this day one of Lean Six Sigma Green Belt Hackathon. Now, what is hackathon? First, let me clarify that a lot of people have the doubt in their mind that what is this hackathon and what is the objective of this. See, the objective of hackathon is to fast track revise the content of the course. Okay, so today, tomorrow, and day after, the 3 days, consecutive 3 days, we are going to revise the content of the green belt. Not all, but the main content, the important concepts. We will go deeper. Okay, we will do mini tab exercises. We will go for hypothesis. We'll go for regression. Okay, so those kinds of concepts, the concept like fishbone analysis and YY analysis, these are or project charter, these are known concepts to you already. So instead of that, we will spend more time on the concepts which are a little difficult to understand. Okay, and revise it quickly so that you guys become ready for the examination of the green belt. Okay, so the hackathon will help you guys to first of all revise this, to fast track your certification process so that you can complete your 45 days challenge in time. Okay, so are you guys ready for this? Just give me yes in the chat box and let's begin the journey today. Ready? Okay, super. So let me share my screen. So take the notes. By the way, anyway, this is being recorded as well. And super. चलिए, so आगे बढ़ते हैं. Ready, everybody? I believe everybody's ready. Fantastic. Okay, so I have just kept the the chat into host and panelist. Okay, this will go up to 9:30, so it will be 2 hours. Maybe it will extend another 10 minutes as well. We will take 5 minutes break in between as well. Okay, so but make sure we clear all our doubts and go ahead with this. Okay, so welcome to this Lean Six Sigma journey, and all of us know that Lean Six Sigma is combination of two very powerful methods. One is called Lean, which is coming from Toyota, Japan, and other it's called Six Sigma, which is coming from Motorola, US. Okay, so Lean basically removes the waste from the system. We all know teamwood, right? Transportation, inventory, motion, which we are going to discuss details. And then Lean increases the speed of the process. On the other side, Six Sigma reduces the variation and improves the quality. So Lean brings speed and Six Sigma brings accuracy, and they both together brings better delivery, better quality, better employee satisfaction, and better customer satisfaction, which brings the profitability to the organization. Okay, so when we are discussing Lean Six Sigma, always remember Lean is a separate methodology, Six Sigma is a separate methodology, and we are discussing the combination. Okay, remember this. That's why a lot of people ask me the question that do we go for Lean, do we go for Six Sigma? Always the answer should be it's a combination is the best option. Okay, because the both methodologies are powerful. Combination of Lean Six Sigma can get the best out of the combination of both these methodologies. Okay, so that's the answer. Now we all know the 5 levels: white belt, yellow belt, green, black belt, and master black belt. Yellow belt you guys have already completed. That's where you got into green belt level. Yellow belt recording is also available in our LMS system, in your learning management system. You can check out anytime. Green belt is what you guys are right now. Majority of you are into green belt, and that's what our hackathon is all about. Okay, then next the black belt, and then the master black belt. Okay, and we all know our referral system. If you refer 2 people, then you can unlock your master black belt and your lifetime membership as well. Okay, which I will discuss later on during this. Now let's deep dive into some of the concepts of the define phase today in green belt. And one of the very important topic comes here is strategic forces from Michael Porter. Michael Porter is one of the big strategist and the mentor when it comes to strategies and strategic forces. So let's understand this. Let's imagine our organization as a hexagon. Okay, this hexagon is our organization, and on our organization there are always some kinds of forces which act upon. Okay, these forces act upon our organizations all the time. For example, customer. Now what is strategic forces? The force which can change the strategy of the organization, it's called as the strategic force. The force which can change the strategy of the organization. Okay, yes, that is called strategic forces. Yeah, Akashji, that's what I just explained in the beginning. Hackathon is the fast track revision. Okay, so this week we are covering green belt. Next week we are covering the black belt. So it will run for 3 days: today, day after, and today, tomorrow, and day after. Okay, each day it will be around 2.5 hours every day, right? And where we'll discuss about major topics of the courses and revise the course content. Okay, that's the so that it will fast track the certification process, right? So coming back to the strategic forces, any force which has a potential to change the strategy is called as a strategic force. The first force is called as customer, or you can say market. Anything customer wants or anything market demands, you need to change your strategy to make sure that you are delivering that, because the business exists because of the customer. If there is no customer, there is no business. Very simple rule, right? So customer is the biggest strategic force. The next one is called a current competitor. Competitor is competitor meaning the competitors which are there. Current competitor meaning the available competitors in the market right now. You know them already. Okay. When is the green belt? See, Rashmiji, green belt exam can be taken anytime. Okay, anytime. It's completely flexible. You just have to send the message to the mentor, and mentor will immediately arrange the examination for you. Once you are ready, you can go for the examination. Okay, that's how it is. So we have made it very flexible. There is no fixed time for the examination. You can give it any time. It will require 1 hour online. Okay. Now, current competition. If anybody, let's say you are Pizza Hut, and Domino Pizza, says that I want to deliver pizza now in 25 minutes instead of 30, 25 minutes. Now, if you are Pizza Hut, you will also have to change your strategy accordingly, because the competition has changed their strategy, right? Like for example, yeah. So any current competition which are there, they change the strategy. You have to also change the strategy. Then comes the potential competitor. Let's take example of Jio. Okay, in the telecom sector, when Jio entered, right? So because of their strategy, the current players like Vodafone, like Bharti Airtel, like the other MTNL and BSNL, all those things, those people have to change their strategy accordingly, because Jio had a different ball game altogether, right? Initially it was a zero pricing model they brought, and it created a complete chaos in the market. So potential competitor also plays a very important role. Then comes the government policies. Government policies meaning, demonetization, GST implementation, plastic ban, or whatever government policy changes, it will have the impact on the organization. Okay. Then the complementer meaning the companies and the industries or the businesses which are complementing to your business. For example, let's say you are into banking, okay, banking and NBFC, okay, and you are into lending, basically lending money to the required people. So the real estate and the lenders, basically banks and NBFCs, they are complementing businesses. If real estate goes up, then the lending also goes up. Okay, are you understanding? Same goes with automotive and the banking industry. So if the automotive sale goes up, the banking, the loans for the cars, etc., will go up. Same with automotive and steel. If automotive sale goes up, steel demand goes up. So these are complementing businesses. And then comes the substitute meaning the businesses which can substitute your business, the product which can substitute your product, the service which can substitute your service. Example, the typewriter substituted by computers, the desktops substituted by the laptops may be substituted by the by the smaller versions of laptops or the mobile phones, right? So these are the substitutes who can actually completely change you and knock you out of the market. So these are all strategic forces acting on the organization. Okay. Now tell me honestly, yes, exactly, replacement. It can replace you from the market. Tell me honestly, how many of you work in your company, right? How much time do you give for maintaining the processes, the standard operating procedure, and how much time do you give for innovation and improvement? Okay, I repeat the question. Out of, let's say, 8 to 10 hours, you have to give me the response in the percentage. Okay, how much time are you giving to basically maintaining the status quo of the processes, which is following the standard operating procedure, and how much are you giving to the innovation? And so give the answer like 80% maintenance and 20% innovation, or 90% maintenance, 10% innovation. Can you just type in the chat box quickly? Tusharji is saying 5%. Okay, type in the chat box, everybody. Okay, so write 100 and 0. Okay, 90 and 10, very good. So write 80 and 20. 80 for the current maintenance of the processes and 20% for the innovation. Okay, no problem. 100% maintenance, 0% innovation. Okay, that's very honest. That's very honest. Really appreciable. So in the nutshell, majority of us spend majority of the time in maintaining the status quo of the products and services, and very less part is given in the improvement of QCDS, quality, cost, delivery and service. And that's where Lean Six Sigma comes a very, see, these strategic forces act upon the organization all the time. If you don't improve, you will perish for the industry, from the market. Are you understanding? Because these strategic forces are demanding the change. If you are not bringing the change, then the disaster is awaited. That's where Lean Six Sigma, the people who are understanding Lean Six Sigma, improving their processes, are very, very crucial players in this entire journey, because improvement is very, very important. Are you clear about strategic forces? Just give me yes in the chat box. Clear hai? This slide is clear. Just give me quick yes. Super clear. See, these are some of the content basically I'm covering from your define phase, green belt define phase only. Okay. Yes. Now the next topic which I would like to discuss is project identification. identification of the projects. So when we identify the project, there are few sources which we should think about. The sources are, as I said, the first source is called as strategy. Strategy. The same example you can take. The strategy meaning, if you are Pizza Hut, Domino Pizza change their strategy, you also have to change the strategy. In that case, the project will be the lead time reduction from 30 minutes to 25 minutes. That is your project. So from strategy also you can find out the projects. Then comes the SWOT. SWOT meaning strength, weakness, opportunity and threat analysis. So it's a top management analysis which is done basically with the help of top management under a guidance of the expert or a consultant, that what are the strengths of the company, what are the weaknesses of the company. So strength and the weaknesses are the internal metrics, and opportunities and the threats are the external metrics. So what are the opportunities for us? Example, strength could be, technology could be the strength, the experience could be the strength, weakness could be organization are not really ready to develop the adopt the latest technology. That can be the weakness of the organization, right? What is opportunity? Opportunity could be a different geographical market. Let's say we are working in India, let's say African geography or Middle East geography can be an opportunity. Threats would be the competition coming in, the potential competition coming in. Those are the threats. So if we analyze strength, weakness, opportunity and threats, we will all get the gaps in all these areas. Okay, strength, what kind of projects can we do to improve the strength? What kind of projects can be done to improve upon the weaknesses? Okay, what projects can be done to capitalize on the opportunities as well as take care of the threats? So SWOT is a very good source for us to identify the projects. Okay, in master black belt level, there is something called Hoshin Kanri. Just for your knowledge, Hoshin Kanri. This, or it is also called as X matrix. Okay, so that's a very first topic of master black belt. How your strategy of the organization can be connected to the project, and there is a process involved that is called X matrix process. So that is explained in the topic number 1 of master black belt. Okay, just for your information. Now the next one is called low performance KPI. KPI meaning key performance indicator. Any key performance indicator is not performing, that is your potential project. Okay, then customer complaint is also a very good source. Cost reduction, anywhere you find opportunity to reduce the cost, that's a fantastic Lean Six Sigma project. You can do Lean Six Sigma project on that. Okay, and again internal and external quality issues if you are getting. So these are the potential sources to find out the projects in Lean Six Sigma. Okay, generally green belt people are not accountable for the identification. Master black belt, MBB, that's why all these topics are discussed in greater details in the MBB curriculum. So master black belt along with the top management plus top management people, these are accountable people to select the project for your company. Okay, so in our master black belt curriculum we have something called a diagnostic study. Okay, if you go through that, you can go to any organization and do the diagnostic study of that organization, finding out the gaps and opportunities for the projects. Okay, nowadays we can take help of AI tools like ChatGPT and Claude as well to identify a lot of gaps as well. Okay, so these are some of the sources which can find the projects. Okay, let me take you through some of the important factors we should consider while beginning the projects. Okay, these factors are very, very important because if we miss out on some of these, it can create a disaster later. Okay, how many of you attended my yesterday's session? Just type me in the chat box. How many of you attended yesterday? Monday live session. किसने attend किया था? Just type me in the chat box quickly. Okay, quite a few. So in that session, I discussed about potential almost 15 to 20 factors which can potentially damage the project, right? So project selection is a very critical session to think about, to discuss about, to ponder upon while in the beginning of the journey. Okay, now let's talk about some of the factors we should consider before we embark on the journey of Lean Six Sigma. Your project should be meaningful. Meaningful meaning it should be either meaningful to the customer or it should be meaningful to the business. Either or. Okay, if it is meaningful to the customer, they are called as voice of customer driven project or external projects. The projects which are meaningful to the business are called voice of business projects, and those are internal projects. Let me give you example. Customer delivery lead time reduction is an external project. Customer complaint reduction is an external project, directly coming from voice of customer, directly coming from the market demand. Attrition reduction is an internal project. Machine downtime reduction is an internal project. Are you understanding? Yes. So your project either should be customer driven, customer focused, or business focused. Okay, it should be meaningful to either to the customer or to the business. Clear everybody? Just give me yes in the chat box. This is very important. Yes, so whenever we are doing the project, make sure that either it should be critical to the customer or critical to the business. Yes, just give me quick yes in the chat box. Then it should be manageable. The root causes should be within your control, within the organization control. Okay, and again it should not be too big to handle and too small as well, because Lean Six Sigma is a very complex methodology, I would say, because it requires certain skill sets of statistics, problem solving tools, Minitab, data analytics. All these skill sets are important. So we don't want to waste these critical important skill sets in very small mundane problems. Okay, so make sure that you take some critical projects, okay, which are not too huge as in the scope, as well as not too small. Okay, so meaningful, manageable, not too big, not too small. These are the factors we should consider. Apart from that, it should not be too urgent. Let's look at this. Okay, so on the y-axis, it is about importance. This axis is about importance, whether it is less important or more important problem. I'm talking about problem. And on the x-axis, it is about urgency. Okay, now Lean Six Sigma project typically should not be too urgent. So here you can see these are too urgent project. This area is too urgent, super urgent. Management want the result, customer want the result in 7 days, in 14 days. That is not possible, because this DMAC framework requires time. We have to drill down to the causes, the root causes, validation with the data. It takes time. Okay, and majority of the Lean Six Sigma professionals, we must understand, are part-timers. You remember yesterday I explained this concept. Part-timer meaning you are doing the projects over and above your routine activities, routine responsibilities, right? By considering all these constraints, your project should make sure that it should not be super urgent. It should be moderately urgent. Okay, that's why yellow belt 1 month, green belt 3 months, black belt 4 to 5 months. These are the thumb rules we basically follow. If the results are required before that, faster than that, it will be very difficult. Okay, we do not want to compromise on the quality of the project. So always remember these factors while doing this. Apart from that, okay, difficulty also level, it should be moderately difficult. That's what I said earlier. It should not be too big and too small. It should be moderate in all these aspects. Okay, moderately urgent as well as moderately difficult. Now, just so it was about about what are the factors we should consider, what are the sources of projects identification. Now let's talk about the vocabulary of Six Sigma, and this process, okay, of vocabulary is also used in external project identification. I'll give you an example for this. Okay, the first one is called voice of customer. What is voice of customer? Voice of customer is nothing but the data or the information we are collecting about the requirement of the customer. Example. Can you give me example from where we can collect the voice of the customer? Yes, very good. Feedback. Fantastic. Type in the chat box. Where can we collect the voice of customer? How are you collecting voice of customer in your company? Type in the chat box. Give me some examples. Yes, CSS, very good. Surveys, complaints, customer NCs, specification limit, CSAT, DSAT, fantastic, super, amazing. So these are called as voice of customers data collection, correct? Right? For example, so voice of customer is generally a little vague sometimes, okay? Example, let's take a very simple example and we will drill it from there. Okay, let's say if you go to a hotel for or restaurant, I would say, and with your family for a dinner, and you did not like the way that service was. Okay, so there is a register in the exit gate. There is a register for the feedback, and the manager asked you or requested you to give your feedback, and you wrote the feedback that I am not happy with your service. That's a very vague statement. Now, from that vague voice of customer, see, complaints are like that only. Complaints are never very specific. Understand this. You will never get a complaint that in that palak paneer you had less amount of spices. In that curry, the salt amount was 50%. So it will not be very specific. It will be, I did not like the taste. I did not like the hospitality. I did not like. So it will be a little vague statement. From that vague statement, you have to find out CTQs, critical to quality. Now tell me, what are the factors which will make your customer happy or unhappy? Type in the chat box. Type in the chat box. Taste, very nice, super. Type in the chat box. Taste is one. What else? What else? Type in the chat box. What will make that customer happy or unhappy? What are those factors? Type. Everybody type that. Service. Okay. Fast service. Very good. Okay. So the service will be there. Hospitality. Okay. So hospitality. Very good. Cleanliness. Hygiene. Very good. Super. Very good. Communication. Okay. Let's talk about this. Now, what we have done, the pricing as well, right? The cost, pricing, communication. So, what we have done from an unhappy customer's voice of customer, we are identifying what are the critical to quality attributes. Taste is critical. Hospitality is critical. Hygiene, cleanliness is critical. The service speed is critical. Okay. Behavior, politeness is critical. So these are called as critical to quality attributes or CTQs. Now my question is, can we measure CTQs? Give me yes or no. Can we measure these critical to quality attributes? Can we measure hygiene? Can we measure taste? Can we measure hospitality? Give me yes, no in the chat box. Can we measure the experience, by the way? In short, can we measure the experience? Because it's a service industry. A lot of people, almost 90% are saying no. I'll give you example. Yes, I'll give you example. We all use the Ola and Uber, right? Ola, Uber, Rapido. The moment you book the ride, you get some rating of the driver who is coming to pick you up. The past rating. The moment you finish your ride, the application asks you the same rating. You know, can you give the rating for this person, the driver? How was he? Was he clean? How was he driving? Was he peaceful? Did he give you best service? So you give the rating on the scale of 1 to 5. Now tell me, can we give the rating on the scale of 1 to 5 to hospitality, to taste, to hygiene, to cleanliness? Yes or no? Correct? So from the vague, now we are bringing some numbers on the table here. Correct? And most of us are not aware that the same driver also gives the rating to the company about you. Okay? So it is vice versa. It's both sided. And you know what? Your rating, there is an algorithm in which, if let's say your rating is 4.9 out of 5 and my rating is 4.5, because I'm not a very good customer, okay, I'm a very rude customer. So according to app, 4.9 rated customer will get the taxi booked faster at the best rate, and the poor rating guy will have to wait for some time to get the taxi, and the prices also can be a little higher. And this is what is inbuilt in the algorithm. Okay, this is where you can convert your experience into rating as well. Okay, now coming back to, once we do that and we collect the data, now we can ask the customer, sir, can you give the rating to, instead of giving the register, you be specific. Sir, give us rating on the test on the scale of 1 to 5 or 1 to 10. Sir, give us rating on hospitality. Give us a rating on hygiene. Give us a rating on cleanliness. Give us a rating on pricing. Give us a rating on speed of the service on the scale of 1 to 10. Then you get the average numbers. That numbers you can basically then work upon. Okay. Let's talk about, are you clear? Everybody clear till now? Just give me yes in the chat box. VOC CTQ clear hai? Very simple. Yes. Make it measurable. That's the most important part. Okay. Then comes voice of design and or specification. Both are same basically. Voice of design or specification. Let's say I'm asking for a cup of coffee and I'm asking for hot cup of coffee. Okay. Now customer will say hot, but what is hot? You should define that specification limit. From the customer requirement, you convert that into voice of design. Okay. For example, let's say my target is 80 degrees centigrade. That's my target. So T for target. Let's say my target is 80 degrees centigrade. Okay, T. And there is a lower specification limit, which is 70 degrees centigrade, and there is upper specification limit, which is 90 degrees centigrade. If I deliver a coffee lower than 70, it will be too cold. If I deliver the coffee more than 90, it will be too hot. And it will be rejected by the customer. And these numbers are called as specification limits, which are decided from the customer requirement. Are you clear? Just give me yes in the chat box. Yes, customer may skip. So you have to give some reward to the customer. If you give us the feedback, you will get some points. Maybe next time you will come, there will be 10%, 10% price may aapko some benefits will get. Okay. Then customer will give you the feedback. Clear everybody? Then anything which goes beyond specification is called a defect. If you deliver a coffee below 70 degree or above 90 degree, that's a defect. If a Domino pizza is delivered after 30 minutes, it's a defect. Right? Now, what is defect opportunity? Let's try to understand this. In the same service or a product, what are the different opportunities present? Example. So DPMO we will discuss, but defects, exactly, DPU, DPMO, all these things. So what are the defect opportunities? Example, let's say we are making shirts. So let me draw a shirt. Okay, so imagine this is the shirt. Okay, it doesn't look like, but imagine this is a shirt. Okay. Now, so in this shirt, what are the defect opportunities? Let's say stain is a defect opportunity, or button missing is a defect opportunity, or stitching error, defect opportunity, or size mismatch is a defect opportunity. So in one product, there are various defect opportunities. So even one defect opportunity comes that makes that product defective. Are you clear? We will discuss this in the major phase when we will discuss about DPMO, defect per million opportunities. Okay, can you type what are the defect opportunities in your product or your service? Type in the chat box. Yeah, defect opportunities are the potential, and whatever actually comes, that is a defect. For example, in the shirt, there is a potential of a stain defect, there is a potential of a button missing defect, there is a potential of stitching error defect, there is a potential of size variation defect. Out of this potential, which defect has actually come? That is a defect. Clear? Shritij, are you clear about it? So actual defect is a defect and the potential is called defect opportunity. Okay. Very good. So wire out, wire in, under cure, over cure, wobbling, these are the defect opportunity. Hole of fabric, shade net, short length, very good. Super. Offer rejection, okay. So these are defect opportunities. Okay. Then comes voice of process. Voice of process is nothing but data. Data coming from the process is called voice of process. Like voice of customer. Data from the customer is the voice of customer, right? Data from business is voice of business. Similarly, data from process. For example, sales data, rejection data, production data. Okay. Yes. So all these are the voice of process, right? And then the project why. Now, from the critical to quality, let's take the example of the same. I'm not happy with your service. Okay. And then we collected the data and we found that the taste is not up to the mark. The taste average is 3.5 out of 5. Okay. So improving taste rating from 3.5 to 4.5 by August 26 is my project Y, my Lean Six Sigma project. So a project derived from this voice of customer from the critical to quality is called project Y. Wherever there is a gap, you can identify the project. Are you clear? Vocabulary is clear. Just give me quick yes in the chat box. Just give me quick yes. Yeah, project Y is a project which you derive from the voice of customer to improve your process. Like in case, I'm not happy with your service. That was the voice of customer. From that voice of customer, we derived CTQs. From the CTQs, we collected some data. From the data, we found that there is a gap between the test. So we derive a project Y, which is improving test rating from 3.5 to 4.5 by August 1940. In August 2025. Clear? Yes. Yes, exactly. So a project derived from the voice of customer is that project Y. See, yes. So in the external project identification, the voice of customer is the source of the project identification. Okay. Yes. Voice of customer, customer complaint, feedbacks, the non-conformities, all the other sources of the projects. Improvement. Yes, the improvement we have defined from the voice of customer is project Y. Okay. Why it is called Y? Why? Because Y is equal to function of X. And everybody knows this. Y is the output and X is the input. So we define Y. Y in this case is the test. Right? It can be hygiene. It can be hospitality. It can be delivery time. Is the output. And we define that Y, which Y we want to improve. There could be multiple Y's here, right? Test is a Y, hospitality is a Y, hygiene is a Y, delivery lead time is a Y, correct? How do we improve those Y's? Is something which is this, okay? Yes, function is the process, absolutely right. Clear? So, now once we define this, so in your curriculum, it is all explained with some fantastic examples. You can go through that, okay? Now, once you identify this, there is an amazing model called Kano model. Professor Noriaki Kano from Japan, a very prominent figure when it comes to Japanese quality revolution. According to him, once we collect the voice of customer, you divide the voice of customer into 3 buckets. One is called the basic feature, second is called the performance feature, and third is called the delighter feature. Let me explain with a very simple example. Once we collect voice of customer, let me give a simple example. Let's take this is the marker. Imagine this is a whiteboard marker, okay, which is writing on the whiteboard. Now, what is the basic expectation from this whiteboard marker? Type in the chat box. What is expected basically from this? Very basic. Absolutely right. It should write. Correct? It should write properly. Without disturbances, it should write properly. This is a basic requirement. And this is called a basic feature. For a car, it should start. When you give the key and the crank, it should start the engine. It should move. When you press the pedal, press the accelerator, it should move. When you press the brake, it should stop. That's a basic feature. What is the performance feature? Performance feature meaning for the marker, let's say the marker is writing, generally it writes for 1 month. What is performance feature? Performance expectation is it should write for 2 months. From 1 month, it should write more than 1 month, maybe 1.5 months, maybe 2 months. For a car, performance feature would be, let's say your mileage. Right now it is giving 20 kilometer per liter. Okay. Now, the performance requirement would be, now you would expect 25 kilometer per liter, 30 kilometer per liter. That's a performance requirement, performance feature. Whatever you are delivering, how you can improve that. That's a performance. Okay. Then comes the delighter. What is delighter? Delighter meaning a feature which is not expected by the customer and still you are delivering it. That is called as a delighter feature. Example, Example is from in the marker, you are giving a digital clock inbuilt in the marker, or that ink is scented ink. Once you start writing, it the aroma is amazing. Okay, sunroof in the car. Okay, these are delighted feature. It's a wow. So if the customer is saying wow, that's a delighted feature. Are you clear? Yes? Yeah. Now the delighter feature should not be adding the cost to the product. I repeat again. Delighter should not add the cost, additional cost burden to the customer. Then it will become a delighter. Are you understanding? Within the same price, you are providing that feature. That's a delighter. The green belt hackathon, black belt hackathon can be a delighter feature. It's a fast track revision of the course. Are you understanding? Yes. Otherwise, the course access is given, the live sessions are given Saturday and Monday. These are additional sessions we are taking just to push you forward, to fast track your course content. It can be a delight. Are you clear? Now what Kano says, whenever you are actually identifying the projects, make sure if there is a gap between a basic feature, that should be your priority. Once all the basic features are taken care of, then you focus on the performance feature. If there is any gap, you can do the projects on that. And then you think about delighter feature. Are you understanding? So Kano model is a priority model. It defines the priority. So you should focus on the basic feature first, then the performance feature, and then the delighter feature. Are you clear with this? Just give me yes in the chat box. So wherever there is a gap between a basic feature, that should be your project number 1. Clear? No, Akashji, don't worry. Just sit with the open mind, okay? Because there are a lot of people in the room who have just completed their yellow belt yesterday or day before, okay? So don't worry, just go with the flow. Very good. Clear? Fantastic, super. It is called a Kano model. Now these are called the external projects coming from the voice of customer. Now there are voice of business, internal projects. Now let me explain you how you can identify the internal projects as well. Okay. So how do you identify internal projects? Internal projects, first you map your processes like process 1, process 2, process 3, process 4, process 5. Example, like this. Surface preparation, then pre-coating, then the lead coating, then the primer application, and then the painting. Let's say these are the 5 processes, and you want to identify the projects out of this. So how do you identify them? First we identify the yield, okay, or which is called as first pass yield. What is first pass yield? Or some people call it FTR as well, first time right. How many of you know FTR, first time right? Just give me yes in the chat box. If you know FTR, just type me in the chat box. First time right. Yes, a lot of people know. Very good. What is first time right? Without any defect, without any rework, any product or any service is delivered, that is called as first time right. Okay. It is also called as, yes, zero defect, without any defect. Okay. Now, if you are doing a rework, that is not first time right. Clear? Now, what is first pass yield meaning? Example, surface preparation, the yield is 0.97, meaning 97% basically. What does it mean? It means if I put 100 pieces in the input, I will get 97 pieces first time right. That is called as yield. Clear? Without any defect, without any rework, 97 pieces will come out. In a BPO call center, 100 calls are incoming, 97 calls are getting the resolution first time. That is called as yield, 97. Are you clear, everybody? Okay, without any rejection or rework, if you are processing that, that is called as yield or first time right. Okay, so here the pre-coating is 94%, lead coating is 93%, primer coating is 93%, and painting is 60%. So the lowest yield is painting. That means painting has got the maximum rejection. Clear, everybody? The lowest yield meaning maximum rejection. Yes? Just give me yes. Clear? Now, then we will take that painting area and we'll go deeper into painting. We'll collect the data of painting rejection. What are the different defects which are coming in the painting? And then we will do a Pareto analysis. Okay. Tomorrow we will learn Pareto analysis in major phase. We will do the Minitab exercises, live Minitab exercises. Okay. What is Pareto 80-20? We all know, right? So it will basically identify what are the top 20% defects or rejections happening in the painting, and that becomes our projects. So these top 20% becomes our project Y. And these are called as internal project identification. Are you clear? Just give me yes in the chat box. Just give me yes quickly. So externally from voice of customer, internally from this process, we can identify the projects. Clear? Quickly? Everybody just give me quick confirmation yes, so that I can move forward. Very good, very good, super. Now once we identify the project, then we go to project charter, right? Everybody knows project charter. Just type yes in the chat box. Yes, project charter सबको पता है. Problem statement, goal statement, etc. Okay. So what I'm doing, guys, I'm not actually touching the topics which are already known. Okay. Yellow belt may also we have covered project charter, right? And to see simple topics, I'm not covering in the hackathon. I'll be covering hypothesis testing, regression, Minitab analytics. Okay. All those topics I will spend more time upon. Okay. And not on the basic topics which are already covered in the yellow belt level. ठीक है ना? Clear है? Yes. Swapnali, have you attended yellow belt? Just give me yes. येलो बेल्ट अटेंड किया था स्वप्नाली आपने? स्वप्नाली पवार. हाँ, सो इन दैट येलो बेल्ट आई हैव ऑलरेडी एक्सप्लेन दैट. ओके, येलो बेल्ट का भी है आपके पास और इस पे भी रिकॉर्डिंग है आपके ग्रीन बेल्ट के इसमें. ओके, इसे सेल्फ एक्सप्लेनेटरी, वेरी सिंपल है. एआई के साथ भी आप प्रोजेक्ट चार्टर बना सकते हो. ठीक है. सो आई विल स्पेंड मोर टाइम ऑन द ऑन सम इंपॉर्टेंट वंस. ओके, रादर देन दिस वन. ओके, सिंपल वंस को छोड़ के हम लोग इंपॉर्टेंट वंस पे आते हैं. सो वन ऑफ द इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक इज इट्स साइपॉक. लेट मी take care of SIPOC. Let me just quickly share my whiteboard and I will explain SIPOC. SIPOC is a very important tool in this entire journey. Okay. Now, what is SIPOC? SIPOC is supplier input, process, output, and customer. Okay. Let's make a SIPOC of a very simple process of let's say tea making process. Everybody knows how to make tea, right? टी मेकिंग सबको आता है, चाय बनानी सबको आती है. जस्ट गिव मी यस इन चैट बॉक्स. ओके, अच्छी आती है कि नहीं मैंने नहीं पूछा है. वैसे चाय बनानी मुझे भी आती है लेकिन कोई पिएगा नहीं. नो बडी विल हैव इट. ओके, बट इट्स अ बेसिक प्रोसेस, एवरीबडी नोज, राइट? चलो लेट्स स्टार्ट द प्रोसेस. टेस्ट जिंजर. ओके, वेरी गुड. Okay, what's the step number 1? What's the step number 1? Type in the chat box. What is step number 1 of this? First, list the process. Yeah, what is the step number 1 to make that cup of tea? Okay, can we call it as boil the water? Can we start from there? Yeah, from this start from boil the water, then add ingredients. Ingredients meaning your tea powder, your milk, your sugar, your ginger, and your masalas and all those things, right? So add ingredients. And then what is the last step after adding ingredients and stirring that? What is the last step? What do we do after that? Let's say imagine it has started boiling. Yeah, it has started boiling now. After that, what do we do? Yeah, we have added everything. Sugar added. Okay, strain and serve, right? Strain and serve. Very simple. So what I have done is, I have done a very simple 3-step process of making cup of tea. So in this process, there is an input. What is the input of boiling the water? First is water, so let me just draw a line here. So for first process, what is the input? First is water, then the gas, then the lighter, then the pot or a bowl, right? Bowl, right? So you need water, you need gas, you need a lighter, you need a bowl, correct? Now this input comes from a supplier. Like water comes from, let's say, municipal corporation. Example, let's say I stay in Mumbai, so BMC. The Brihan Bombay Municipal Corporation. Then the gas comes from Mahanagar Gas. The lighter comes from a vendor. Again, the bowl also comes from the vendor. Okay. What is the output of this process? Is boiled water. Imagine you are a tea stall vendor. Okay. Okay, imagine you are a tea stall vendor and you are making cup of tea for the customer. Imagine that way. Okay. आपका स्टॉल है और आप स्टॉल पे आप ये बना रहे हो, right? So right now Boiled water you will not serve, right? So you are the internal customer right now. So this boiled water will be used by you only. So the customer for this step is the tea stall vendor. Tea stall vendor. Okay, right? Now comes to the second step, adding ingredients. What are the ingredients? Milk, sugar, tea powder, then you have the ginger and all the other ingredients, and their respective vendors you have to list here. What is the output of this? Ingredients added. And again, the tea stall vendor is the customer for this. Okay. Then you are straining or filtering and serving it. So there will be a strainer and there will be a cup. And again, the respective vendors will be the suppliers. Okay. And what is the output of this? Hot, refreshing cup of tea served. Okay. Cup of tea served. Now that will be served to the customer, who will be the final customer. So here, your customer will be the actual customer and not the tea stall vendor. Clear? So this is called as SIPOC. SIPOC stands for Supplier Input, Process, Output and Customer, which gives the detailed about the process, what the process is involved, what are the inputs, who is the supplier, what are the outputs, and who is the customer. Clear? So SIPOC gives us very important detail about the project boundary, who are the major stakeholders of the projects. Okay, so suppliers and the customers are important stakeholders of the projects. They are basically, they are impacting the project or they are getting impacted by the project. Okay, so they are stakeholders. And here, the most important, in this input column, you remember I mentioned about y is equal to function of x, right? If you observe very closely, all the points which are factored in the input columns are nothing but all the x's, the input, which will be using in the analyze phase. Okay, so if you do the SIPOC properly, you will get all the important factors in the column of input itself. And this is what the SIPOC is all about. Are you clear? Just give me yes in the chat box. Last column of the first two rows. There is a tea stall vendor. Tusharji, imagine you are a tea stall vendor and you are making cup of tea. Okay. First आप क्या करोगे? Water boil करोगे. For that process step, who is the customer? आप खुद customer हो. That's what I have written, tea stall vendor. बाद में आप ingredient डालोगे. Okay. For that step, who is the customer? The tea stall vendor. आपने अभी तक वो सर्व नहीं किया है. Right? Clear है? कब आप सर्व करोगे? लास्ट में जब बॉइल होके जब चाय बनेगी तब आप कस्टमर को सर्व करोगे. Then the customer becomes the actual consumer. Okay? Till the time there are internal customers and the last customer is the final customer. Clear? Exactly. Absolutely right. Very nicely summarized, Abhishek ji. And SIPOC clear hai everybody? Just give me yes in the chat box. SIPOC clear? Super. Now once SIPOC is done, there's a very important factor. Once stakeholders are identified, no? Okay? Stakeholders are identified, then we actually do the what you can say, the stakeholder analysis. Who are the stakeholders? The people who are what you can say, who are actually impacting and getting impacted because of the problem are the stakeholders. Okay, and we have a very powerful tool called stakeholder analysis. Let me share my screen here. Okay, let me stop sharing this and then share this. Yeah, Deepali ji, we have just kept the messages into host and panelist. Okay, I can make it to everyone, but just to keep the focus on, I've just kept it to host and panelist. Okay, what would be possible questions on SIPOC? SIPOC के questions ये होते हैं कि what is the objective of SIPOC? Okay, objective of SIPOC is first to define the boundary. Objective of SIPOC is to list all the factors which are impacting our project. Objective of SIPOC is who are the stakeholders. Okay, then why the SIPOC is so important? So SIPOC defines the boundary, defines the stakeholders, defines the input factors. All right, yes, it's a broad level process mapping actually. Okay, super. Now let me just share my screen and let me discuss a very important topic about stakeholder analysis. Okay, yes, stakeholder meaning, as we discussed in SIPOC, the customer column and the supplier column, these are called stakeholders. Okay, the departments or the functions which are involved in the project are called as stakeholders. Okay, so what we have to do, because during making the project team, we have to have the stakeholders representation. So we should have somebody from one department each. So in this case, for example, let's say here the stakeholders are sales department, management, employees in the process, customer A, supplier A. These are some of the stakeholders. Okay, and we want representation. We want their involvement in the project to solve this problem. Okay, now stakeholder analysis is a very powerful tool to gauge how much they are engaged in the project. Example, let's say cricket is a team activity, right? Now, for a captain, it is very difficult to gauge the players' engagement level, how engaged they are. It is very difficult. It's very subjective, isn't it? Okay. So this stakeholder analysis makes it very objective. That subjectivity is converted into objectivity by giving them these kinds of rating. For example, here you can see we have given the rating like supporter level, compliant level, indifferent level, uncooperative, opposing, or hostile. Let me explain you. Supporter meaning the team is supporting the project. Compliant meaning they are following the instruction and complying with the instructions. Indifferent meaning they are not giving responses. See, indifferent and uncooperative, they are similar. Okay, you can make one of them. Okay, uncooperative or indifferent, they are not cooperating to your request, or they are not turning up for the discussion, for the brainstorming. They are not giving you data. That is how they are not supporting the project. They are some people are opposing the project. Some people are even hostile, meaning aggressively opposing the project. So these are various levels of the people engagement. Okay, here you will find R as well as P. R meaning required level of commitment and P meaning present level of commitment. Example, yes, exactly. It is their involvement and the performance during the project. Okay, example, the sales department, you want them to be compliant to the project, but they are opposing. You know what is the reason? Because there is huge attrition in the sales department right now. Lot of people are leaving the jobs and there is no recruitment happening in sales department. And over and above, the Lean Six Sigma project is given to them. That's why they are opposing this entire initiative. Are you understanding? Okay. Yes. So you have to gauge what is their engagement level. Okay. So this is a very powerful tool to identify what is their required level and what is their present level, where they are standing. So for example, sales is opposing, employees are uncooperative, supplier also hostile. There could be reasons. So you have to identify the reasons and bring them to the compliant or the supporter level by continuous communication with them. And this is called a stakeholder analysis. Very powerful tool to engage people in the project. Clear? Just give me yes in the chat box. If you observe very closely, it's a very subjective, subtle challenges you can surface with the help of this stakeholder analysis. Very powerful tool. Okay? Super. Apart from that, there are a couple of tools like communication plan. Okay? PR stands where present level and required level are at the same level. Single box मतलब क्या है? For example, management is PR. So management is required to be supportive and presently they are also supportive. Clear? Yes? Customer required to be indifferent. Actually they should be compliant, but they are compliant like that. Okay? Expected level and required and present level are at the same level. So P and R will be in the same box. Okay? So super. Now apart from that, there are a couple of points, like for example, there is something called RACI metric. Okay, RACI metric. What is RACI metric? Let me give you a quick idea about RACI metric. RACI metric is nothing but, it is called as responsible, accountable. What did I say? RACI. RACI. RACI stands for R for responsible, A for accountable, C for consulted, and I for informed. Responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed. Now once we identify the stakeholders, then we give them who is responsible for what. Now what is responsible and accountable, the difference? Understand this. In a cricket match, batsmen are responsible to make the runs, bowlers are responsible to take the wickets, but the captain and the coach is accountable for the result of the match. See the difference between responsibility and accountability. Are you understanding? Another example. Okay, the workmen, the operators are responsible for the quality, responsible for the production, but the supervisors and the managers are accountable for it. The answerable are accountable people. If anything goes wrong, the question will be asked not to the batsman, not to the bowler, but to the coach and the captain. The question will be asked not to the operator, but to the supervisor and the manager. That is called accountability. Okay? And what is consulted and informed? Let me give you an example of this. Let's say there is one CFO. There is a CFO and there is a consultant master black belt like me. And there is project Lean Six Sigma project going on, and the team wants to invest on the automation of the process, which requires 1 crore investment, capital expenditure. So who should they consult with? Whether they would consult with CFO or they would consult with master black belt. Type in the chat box. There is a requirement of 1 crore investment. कहाँ पे जाएंगे वो? CFO के पास जाएंगे कि master black belt के पास? Of course CFO, right? Because chief finance officer is accountable for grant that permission, correct? Second example, they are doing hypothesis testing or they are doing design of experiments and there is a technical problem in that. Who they will consult? Will they consult with CFO or master black belt? They will consult to master black belt. Are you understanding? So we'll define which area who should we consult with. That is called consulted. And inform meaning the progress has to be informed to the people, to the management, etc. So that also we define over there. Okay, so responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed, this metrics also we make in this. Okay, there is an example given in your curriculum, you can observe. Okay, apart from that, there is a communication plan also. We basically we make how are we going to communicate during the project. Okay, via email, via WhatsApp, via telephone, via huddle meetings, via steering committee reviews. So there will be multiple ways of communication that will be defined in the communication plan. Okay, so in the nutshell, this is called our define phase in our green belt level. So what we will do right now, it is 8. What is the time right now? 8. Can somebody put the exact time? 8:47, 8:45, yeah, 8:46. What exact time precisely? We'll take a quick break, okay, and we'll be back by 8:50. Okay, 3-4 minutes का break लेते हैं, 3 minutes, and we'll back by 8:50. We will start the major phase today. We'll stop the session by 9:30. Okay, 9:30 पे हम लोग. Today I will cover the basics of the statistics, and tomorrow we will continue that major phase in the mini tab. Okay, so we just quickly take 3 minutes break, and we'll be back by 8:50 sharp. Okay, yeah, enjoy your break. Okay, if you're back, just type I am back in the chat quickly and we'll start our session once again. Are you back on your seat right now? सुपर, चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं. So today we will basically discuss some part of major phase. Some part of major phase we will discuss today, and the remaining part we'll cover tomorrow. Okay. Now, Tyagaraju, we will discuss 80-20 principle tomorrow if it is okay with you. Okay, which is Pareto principle. If you remember during our yellow belt session also we have discussed that. With the examples of check bouncing cases, if you remember, okay, and our this one, okay, the monthly expenses reduction, right? So yeah, tomorrow we will do the Minitab exercise as well, and there I will explain you with one example as well, okay. Pharma background also, Gilgis, surely Deepak, you are from pharma, is it? Very good, good to know that. And see, try to connect that, because I cannot give a specific examples of the industry to the topics, but try to connect that. Of course, so general my examples are very generic in nature, so that anybody and everybody can connect. Okay, but what you can do is you can connect that with your own example, and whenever you struggle, because see, I have a lot of experience in pharma as well. So whenever you, let's say, found a disconnect, okay. That can I apply Pareto over here, or can I apply SIPOC over there, or whatever that case, then you can connect with me or ask the questions over here and I will answer that. Okay. Now coming back to major phase, the main objective of major phase, this is very important statement. Okay. You can't improve what you don't measure. You can't improve what you do not measure. And this is a main theme of the major phase. Major phase is all about collecting the data. If you want to have a control on the process, start measuring the performances, start collecting the data. And that's what we do in the major phase. Okay. So in the major phase, what we do, we collect the data, and then with that data, we apply some statistical tools and principles. Okay. So there are three types of measures. One is called input measure, process measure, and output measure. Let's continue the same example of tea making process what we saw in the SIPOC. In that, what are the input measures? Now we are talking about measurements. We are talking about measurements. Okay. Now in the input, if you remember, we wrote water. Here in the measurement, we will write quantity of water and quality of water. Both are measurables. Understand this. Quantity and quality, both are measurables. Quantity would be, let's say, 50 milliliter is a quantity, and quality will be, let's say, Amul or Mother's Dairy or a buffalo milk or a cow milk. These are the qualitative measures. Correct? Same goes with milk, tea powder, and sugar. These are the input measures. What are the process measures? Temperature. Okay. How much time are we boiling that entire liquid? And how much time are we stirring? All these are the process measures. And more data do we collect in this, more analysis we can do. Okay. So tomorrow, day after, we will discuss about regression, hypothesis, etc. There you will understand how these data will be so important for us for the analysis. Okay. So tomorrow, majority of the time we will spend on the Minitab. Okay. So you love tomorrow's session. Okay. Don't miss tomorrow live session. Then the output measures will be test of the tea and turnaround time, the time of delivery. Okay, these are the output measures. So let's do one exercise quickly. In your process, give me one input measure give me one output measure and give me one process measure. So like this, input measure, then process measure. It should be measurable, by the way, and output measure. Just give me one example of each. Type in the chat box quickly, so that I will get the confidence that you have understood the concept. Very simple concept. Input, process, output, right? What are the input measures? What are the process measures? And what are the output measures? Okay. And again, it should be measurable. Anybody who is not able to understand whether it is measurable or not, okay, you can discuss that with me. Everybody type in the chat box your one input measure, one process measure, one output measure. While typing na, just use shift enter. So shift enter use करोगे तो directly enter नहीं हो जाएगा, directly ये नहीं हो जाएगा, chat चला नहीं जाएगा. Okay. Input measure, master batch ratio, very good. What is the process measure and what is the output measure? Training content is the input measure. Yeah, give me combine 3 so that I can read it in a continuation. Okay. Quantity of raw material. Process measure is compounding. Compounding में आप क्या measure करते हो, Raju? That is very important. What are you measuring in compounding? Which is the measure of compounding? And finished product, output finished product का क्या? Is it weight of finished product? Is it what exactly? Is it weight? Is it density? Okay, be very specific. What are we measuring? Okay. Yes, very good. Curative dosages, curing of tire. This is the process. Understand this. Now, for example, curative dosages. So, quantity of curative dosages. That is the measure. Curing of tire is a process. Time of curing, temperature for curing, airflow for curing. These are the measures. Are you understanding? Very good. Polymer strength is a measure. Very nice. Super. Optimum cure of tires. So how do you measure whether the tire is optimally cured? So those are the measures, output measures. Yes? Fantastic, fantastic. Clear है ना? Harness test में आप क्या करते हो? Use what is the measurable aspect of harness test? What is the output of the harness test? That is something that is a measurable output. See, these are the processes. Training content, maybe the time of training content can be a measure. Quantity of training content can be a measure. Right? Yes. Now, in the process also, delivery time can be a measure. Training delivery time. Like for example, green belt course content in the corporate, we deliver it for 40 hours. So 40 hours is the time. Delivery time, right? Very good, super. So I believe everybody is clear about input, process and output. Clear? Now once you start collecting the data, you will find two types of data. One is called continuous data, other is called discrete data. Continuous data is a data which can be measured. Very important. Continuous data which can be measured on a continuous scale. Like for example, length, height and weight. We can have 10.1, 10.2, 10.3, 10.8, 10.9, 10, 11, 11.1, 11. On a continuous scale I can measure. Na? It is called as continuous data. On the other side, the data which can be counted, it's called as discrete data. For example, number of people sitting in the room right now. It's called a count data. It's called a discrete data. So male, female, go, no go, accept, reject, pass, fail. All these are count data. Number of people, number of days, number of hours can be a discrete data. Are you understanding? So wherever we are measuring height, we are see, understand this. Subconsciously also we say like that. Go and measure the height. go and measure the weight. We never say go and count the height. We never say go and count the weight. We never say go and count the length. No, we say go and measure the length. So subconscious, so wherever we use measure, that's a continuous data. Whenever we say count, that's a discrete data. Again, we can show that in the decimals. Okay, 20.2, 20.3, 20.4. It's a continuous data. Discrete data generally shown in the whole numbers. Okay, 20 people in the room, 21 people in the room. You will never say 21.5 people in the room. Okay, yes, clear hai? So continuous data is height, length, weight, etc., pressure, temperature, speed. Continuous data. Discrete data meaning number of pieces rejected. I am counting number of pieces. That is a discrete data. Clear? Everybody clear? Just give me yes in the chat box. Abhishek ji, are you clear? Whenever you are measuring, it's continuous. Whenever you are counting, it's discrete. Okay. Example. Let's say I am into a battery factory. I am a quality inspector, and I am checking the weight of the battery. Okay, understand this. Just giving you an example. And the weight of the factory, weight of the battery is 100 grams. And imagine if it is less than 100 grams, I have to reject it. I am a quality inspector. Okay, so first battery I have checked. The weight is 99.2 grams. Which data is this? Continuous or discrete? Type C or D in the chat box. Weight 99.2. Okay, now then I will measure it, and if it is less than 100, I will reject. So I'm saying reject. Then the second battery is 100.1 grams. I accept it. Third battery is 100.8 grams. I accept it. Fourth battery is 100.2 grams. I accept it. So ultimately, I have got 1 reject and 3 accept. What data is this? 1 reject and 3 accept. Continuous or discrete? Discrete. Are you clear? So the weight data is in continuous form and accept and reject is in discrete form, because I'm counting how many discrete, how many accepted, how many rejected. Clear hai? Very simple. Yes? Clear? Now this is which type of data are you having? Okay. See, always better to have continuous data, because then you can do lot of data analysis with that. Okay, your histogram, normal distribution, okay, your what you can say, box plots, lot of things you can do with the continuous data. So always continuous data is better to have than discrete data. Are you clear? Data will always be in discrete. No, it is between continuous. See, sometimes it is discrete, sometimes it is continuous. So which data do you have? What type of data collection do you have? See, I gave the same example. Let's take. So some companies will store the data of weights. Some companies will store only data of accept and reject. That's it. I would say, see, accept and reject gives us very limited information. Continuous data gives us complete information, right? So always better to have a continuous data. Yes, you always prefer continuous over discrete. That will be always better. Okay. Clear continuous data and discrete data. Now, let's talk about statistics. Okay, got it? Everybody's clear about this? Everybody's clear? Very good. Now let's talk about statistics here. What is statistics? Statistics is a science which converts data into information. Very simple definition I have made. Statistics is a science which converts data into information. Okay. Now, there are two types of statistics we have. Okay. You can take a screenshot of this. This is very simply depicted. There are two types of statistics. One is called descriptive statistics, other is called inferential statistics. I'll give you simple examples so that you can easily understand this. Descriptive meaning, when we see a T20 cricket match, okay, now everybody knows the sample and the population theory. Sample is a subset of the population. Everybody knows this. Population is the entire data set. Sample is a subset of that. Just give me yes in the chat box. You know that. Very simple. School में सबने पढ़ा है ये, college में सबने पढ़ा है. Population is the entire data set. Sample is a subset of that. Clear? Right? The same is applicable here as well. Descriptive is about the sample. And inferential is about the population. I'll give you examples so that you can understand it. In T20 match, let's say 5 overs have happened. The score is 50 runs, 2 wickets, 5 overs. Okay? This is a score. This is a samples of 5 overs and this is called a descriptive statistic. In the same match, we get a projected score. Everybody has seen this projected score? Yes, just in the chat box. That score will say this team will reach 200 runs or 210 runs. This is a projection about the future. This is a projection about the population. It is called as inferential statistics. Just give me yes in the chat box if you're clear about this. So descriptive is about the sample, inferential is about the population. Okay, descriptive is about the past, inferential is about the future. Future projections, future predictions, the behavior of the population. It is about the probability. Descriptive is about the certainty because it has already happened. Inferential is about the probability because we don't know 100% about it. Are you understanding? Yes? Now, when we collect the data, yahan tak everybody with me? Everybody with me till now? Descriptive, inferential, sample and population, past and future. Correct? Simple. Let's talk about when we collect the data. You have seen this kind of a distribution, right? Which is called normal distribution. In the normal distribution, there is a center. Let's say this dotted line, this line is the center of that normal distribution. And second, there is a spread of that distribution of the data. So the center of the data is defined by the central tendency and the spread of the data is defined by the dispersion. For central tendency, we have mean, mode and median. For the spread or the dispersion, we have range, variance and standard deviation. These are the parameters we check. And we will quickly touch upon the theoretical part today. Tomorrow we will do the practical on Minitab. Okay. And when it comes to inferential, we have tools like correlation, regression, hypothesis, confidence interval, design of experimentation. So some of the tools we are going to learn this week in the green belt. Some of the advanced tools like advanced hypothesis, regression, correlation, design of experimentation, we will learn in the next week in the black belt hackathon. Okay. So right now today we will cover central tendency and dispersion today and we will close the session today. And the regression, correlation, hypothesis we will cover tomorrow. Clear everybody? Just take a screenshot of this. Now I am talking about central tendency. Just give me yes in the chat box if you are with me till now. Any doubt, please ask me. Okay, I will answer the question. I will clarify your all the doubts. The live sessions are for the doubt clearance. Okay, and understand this. If you want to invite your referrals, please invite them to the live sessions like this, so that they can understand how deeply we go in the concepts, how interactively we'll communicate. Okay, so they will also get a test of it. Okay, so yellow belt पे invitation दे सकते हो, यहाँ पे भी उनको invite कर सकते हो. Are you clear? So that will give them the confidence about the methodology, how professionally we handle this. DOE stands for design of experiments, which is the advanced concept which we will learn in the black belt level. Okay. Yes, tomorrow Sakshi we will cover the hackathon Minitap session. Okay. So tomorrow we'll cover Minitap. Chalo, let's talk about descriptive statistics, mean, mode and median, starting from mean. Mean, okay? Mean is simple arithmetic average. For example, these are the production numbers: 500, 750, 600, 450, 775. I take the average comes to 615. This is called as mean. Simple arithmetic average. Okay, clear? Very simple. The next one is called the mode. See, mean, mode and median are the measures of the central tendency, where the center is located. Okay. The next one is called the mode. What is mode? Mode is nothing but the maximum frequently occurring value. Maximum frequently occurring value. Now just observe this data set. Observe it very closely and tell me which value is frequently occurring. Type in the chat box, everybody. 75. Correct? Everybody with me? 75 is the maximum occurring value in this. Correct? And that's why it is called as mode, because you can see 75 1, 75 2, 75 3. 75 is coming 3 times. That's why it is called mode. Okay? Yes? Now, let me draw this distribution for you. Let me draw this distribution for you so that you can easily understand this. Okay? So let's say 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, like that. Okay? So let's say 60. How many 60s are there? So let's say 60 is only 1. So I'll make a mark like 1. 65 is 1. So 67 is also very close by. So I will mark 2. There is no 70 here. 75 is thrice. 1, 2 and 3. Okay. 80 is twice. 1 and 2. There is no 85, but there is 190. So I will mark 1. So if I join this, it will look the distribution like this. And the maximum height is the mode. Clear? Are you clear? Just give me yes in the chat box. Yes? Mode clear hai? Very good. Now, one more thing. What if I have got another 80 here? So I have got 3 80s now, 1, 2 and 3. So I have got 375 and 380. In that case, it is called as bimodal distribution. Bimodal distribution. It looks like a camel back. So this is 75 and this is 80. It is also called as a camel back distribution or bimodal, because it looks like a camel, na? Camel ka back jo hota na, looks like that, right? It is called as bimodal distribution. Okay? But this is not a normal distribution. Normal distribution is always a unimodal. Always has one mode. Okay? Clear? This is called as mode. Then comes median. What is median? Median is if you arrange the data in ascending or descending order, whatever is the center is called median. For example, this is a data set. I arrange the data set in the ascending order. So 19 is in the center. So 19 becomes my median. Clear, everybody? Just give me yes in the chat box. Median clear hai? If you arrange the data in the ascending or descending order, which remains in the center, it's called a median. Very clear? Very good. Simple, mean, mode, median, clear? Apart from that, there is something called percentile and quartile. Let's try to understand this concept. Percentile we all have heard about during the the joint entrance exams, CET, JEE. We must have seen the percentiles. Okay, what is percentile? Imagine this data set is just like a cake. If I arrange the data set in ascending order, just like a cake, and if I have to divide that cake into 100 equal pieces, okay, so I have to make 99 cuts like this. I have to make 99 cuts like this. Every cut is called as percentile. Are you understanding? Every cut is called as percentile. If I arrange the data in the ascending or descending order, and I have to divide the data into 100 equal parts, so I have to make 99 cuts, every cut becomes percentile. Clear? That's a very good question, Abhishek ji. I will come to this point. Okay, when do we have odd and even numbers? Well, that's a very good point. Clear? Percentile clear hai? Percentile meaning if I arrange the data and divide the data into 100 equal parts, every part becomes a percentile. Clear? The same concept is applicable in quartile. What is quartile? 4. Quarter meaning 4, right? 1/4, correct? So if the same data I have to divide into 4 equal parts, understand this, guys. Now focus here. Imagine the same cake I have to divide into 4 equal parts. I will cut here 1, 2 and 3. I will make 3 cuts. The moment I make 3 cuts, I make 4 equal parts, no? 1, 2, 3 and 4. Yes? In that case, this becomes my first quartile. I will call it as quartile 1. This cut becomes my second quartile. I will call it as quartile 2. And thus this cut becomes my third quartile. I will call it as quartile 3. Understand this? Now focus here. Can I say my first quartile Q1, can I say it is 25th percentile? Can I say that? Just give me yes in the chat box. Can I say this quartile 2, can I say which is 50th percentile? If I use the percentile scale, the same will become 50th percentile. And Q3 becomes my 75th percentile. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. Now, the quartile 2 or my 50th percentile, the center part, can I call it as median? Quartile 2 or 50th percentile, can I call it as median? Just give me yes in the chat box. Just give me yes. Clear hai? Yeah. Now here, focus on this data. Can I call it as quartile 1? Can I call it as quartile 2? Can I call it as quartile 3? I have arranged the data set on the ascending order and divided equally into 4 parts. Clear hai? Okay. Now coming back to Abhishek's, yahan tak everybody is with me. What is median? Now coming back to Abhishek's brilliant question. What if Now we have got 7 data points here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's where we have got only one data at the center. What if I have got another value here, 42? Now I have got 8 values and I have got 2 values in the center, 19 and 25. In that case, I will take average of these two, that will become 22, that will become my median. In case of even numbers, you have to take average of the two central values, that becomes your median. Clear? Mean mode median clear hai? Everybody clear? Mean mode median? Okay? Very good, very good. Super, super. Now, this is about a central tendency. Let's talk about the dispersion, the spread of the data. Okay? When it comes to the spread of the data, the very first measure is called as the range. Range is the very basic measure of your dispersion. Okay? Very simple. Highest value minus lowest value is the range. For here, the production numbers are given. The highest production is 900, the lowest production is 300, the range is 600. Let's say if we take the weight of the people sitting in the room, let's say the highest weight will be 100 kg, the lowest weight will be 50 kg, the range will be 50 kg. Highest minus lowest, simple. Okay? Range is the very basic level of the dispersion measurement. Okay? Now comes the variance and standard deviation. Let's try to understand this. Let's talk about variance and standard deviation. Okay? Imagine I have plotted all the data points like this. I have already plotted one data points before this, right? Like stars, stars, stars. Correct? Like this. Correct? If I connect this, it will make this kind of a data distribution. Okay? So imagine if I collect the data and this is a distribution. To find out the standard deviation or the variance, the first step is to check the mean of the data. Check the mean. Mean is the average, simple average. So the first step is to take the average of the data. Simple. Collect the data, take the average. Okay. Let's say this is the average, which is nothing but a mean. Why we collect the average? This becomes the reference line. From this reference lines, we will collect what is the deviation. See, we are collecting standard deviation. Na? Deviation meaning the distance from the central value, right? How much is it deviated? Now, to get that central value, we are calculating the mean first. Mean is the average. Once we calculated the mean, then the next step is find out the deviation from the mean of each and every value. For example, this is, let's say, data number 1. What is the distance from the value and this data point? Let's call it as D1. What is the value of this data point from the mean? Let's call it as D2. Okay. Then what is the value of this data point and this? Let's call it a D3. So D1, D2, D3, D4, etc. are the deviations from the mean. Clear, everybody? Just give me yes in the chat box. Clear? First we calculated the mean. Now we are calculating the deviations. Okay. The next step is, because what will happen is, because there would be few positive values, there would be few negative values. On the left hand side there will be negative values, on the right hand side there will be positive values, right? And if I take the direct average, negative and positive will clash with each other and it will not give me the right answer. to avoid that trap, what the statisticians do, they basically take the square of the value. So instead of the actual value, they square the value. Why? Because squared value is always positive values. Are you understanding? Squared values are always positive values. Like for example, minus 2 square is not minus 4, it is 4. Are you clear? That's why, to avoid this minus and plus clash, they are taking the squared of the values and then they are taking the average, and that average of the squared values is denoted by sigma square and it's called as variance, and this is the formula. d1 square plus d2 square plus d3 square plus d4 square plus d5 square divided by n, it's called as variance. And because we have taken the squared value, we have to take the square root, and square root of the variance is called as standard deviation. Are you clear? Just give me yes in the chat box. Very simple. N is equal to number of data points. N is equal to number. Let's say there are 10 data points, so N is 10. Everybody is clear? Just give me yes in the chat box. So, more the standard deviation, more is the spread. Let me share with you this. Let's look at this diagram. Let's look at this diagram. In this, there are 3 cases are given. Case number 1, case number 2, case number 3. All the 3 cases has 23 data points. N is equal to 23. Okay. X bar is the mean. Mean is 5 here. All these 3 cases, the mean is 5. N is 23 and mean is 5. Okay. What changes is the standard deviation. You can see here the spread is high. The standard deviation is high, 1.75. In the second case, the spread is less. The standard deviation is 1.4. In the third case, the spread is even less. The standard deviation is the least, which is 0.85. So, more the spread, more the standard deviation, lesser the spread, lesser the standard deviation. So, if I put the specification limit here, okay, here, everybody understand this. Anything which goes beyond specification is rejected, right? This is all rejection. That's why in Lean Six Sigma, what we do is we reduce the standard deviation and bring the process in the center so that we can reduce these rejections. And this is the simple fundamental of Six Sigma. Are you clear? Just give me yes in the chat box. Clear what is Sigma and what is the objective of Six Sigma? To reduce the standard deviation and bring the process to the center and reduce the rejection. Okay, great. So tomorrow we will do all the Minitab exercises. Okay, so we'll stop today. I will share this recording in the Greenbelt Hackathon folder. Okay, yes. So tomorrow we'll connect at 7:30 p.m. Please connect with the laptop with Minitab installed in that. Okay, any doubt in this? Just connect with your mentor. Okay. And as I said earlier, if you want to invite your referrals, please bring them in these sessions so that they can join our 45-day challenge as well. Okay. Thank you very much for joining. Keep learning, keep growing. Yes, I will share this invite. So the same link, the same link will be applicable tomorrow as well. For day after, so same link, common link for all the 3 days. Clear? Same link आप use कर सकते हो. हाँ, आपको आपको ना सबको रेफरल लिंक मिला होगा. personalized referral link. Let me quickly share that if I can. Let me quickly I think अभी वो फिर से ये करना पड़ेगा. Anyway, if you have any doubt about personalized referral link ना, just send a message on the mentor number. हम आपको मैसेज भेज देंगे. Just send a message that please share me personalized invite link. Okay, वो लिंक आप, वो येलो बेल्ट का लिंक है, वो येलो बेल्ट का, बट दैट इज द रजिस्ट्रेशन, so that your person will get registered. Are you understanding? In the yellow belt session. उनको आप इस सेशन में भी इनवाइट कर सकते हो, उनको आप सैटरडे मंडे सेशन पे भी इनवाइट कर सकते हो, so that they will get a confidence. क्लियर है? यस? हाँ, साक्षी जी, you just send a message to the mentor number. Okay, we will discuss over there. हाँ, नवनाथ जी, जस्ट सेंड अ मैसेज ऑन द मेंटर नंबर एंड आपको हम लोग भेज देंगे व्हाट्सएप पे. ठीक है, आप उसको यूज करके आप मल्टीपल पीपल को सेंड कर सकते हो. इनवाइट एटलीस्ट 5 to 10 पीपल, उसमें से 2 तो जरूर ले लेंगे. ओके, एंड यू विल बिकम लाइफ टाइम मेंबर एंड मास्टर ब्लैक बेल्ट. ठीक है ना? यस यस, थैंक यू वेरी मच. कीप लर्निंग, कीप ग्रोइंग. वी विल कनेक्ट टुमारो विद द सेम enthusiasm. Till the time, bye bye, take care, good night.